Hey, welcome back. This is part two of feeding and nutrition. So in part one we talked about how to get your dog to eat dog food, and now in part two we're going to talk about how to choose the right dog food for your dog. So first and foremost, this is your choice. Remember that a lot of people have family and friends and everybody, oh, feed your dog this, feed your dog that. You have the breeders telling you what to feed them, or the rescues telling you what to feed them, and there's just so much information. It's just so many people telling you different things, so many people giving you the advice as to what they feed their dog. So that can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're new to having a dog. You don't know which information is right, and it's all conflicting. So firstly, I'm not going to tell you what to feed your dog. I'm not going to tell you what brand to get. I'm not going to tell you any of that. I'm just going to tell you what to look out for when you're choosing a dog food, so that you know that you're choosing a good dog food. Because there's lots of different good ones out there. Really, really good foods. So you want it to be premium. You want it to be a premium food. And if you're not sure which foods are premium, when you go into a pet store, ask the person in the pet store to show you to the section where the premium food is. But if you're, shopping online, or you can't get to a pet store, and you just want to know whether the food you have chosen or the food you have at home is good or not, I'll discuss that in this video and let you know how to identify a good quality premium food. And then the choice is yours. You choose, okay? So the reason I'm saying you choose is because all dogs are different, okay? They have different needs. They have, some dogs have different health issues and stuff. So I'm not going to say any one particular dog food for all, because that would be stupid. Because not all dogs are the same. Like I said, they all have different nutritional needs. So the first thing you need to do is to ask, what type of dog do you have? Okay, so when choosing a food, the best type to go for is the foods that are very specific to the needs of your dog. So what size is your dog? Is it a small dog, a medium dog, or a large dog? So that's very important. So when you're choosing a food, go for a food that specifies on the front that it's for a small or medium or large breed dog. That way that you're actually feeding the dog for the type of dog that you have. For example, if you've got a large breed dog, choosing a food for a large breed dog will help them in a lot of ways. For growing, for example, their joints need to grow properly in order to support that larger body. So choosing a food for a large breed will help them with that. So that's the first thing. Choose the food for the correct type of dog that you have, which size dog you have. Then there's the age. Is your dog a puppy? Is it an adult dog, or is it a senior dog? So making sure that it specifies on the front, puppy/junior, adult, or senior. That way, again, you're meeting the specific needs of your dog. The next thing you want then to figure out, does your dog have any food intolerances? Sensitive stomach, sensitive skin, and that again you can get specified on the front of the packet. It might say sensitive food, or grain free, or hypoallergenic. So does your dog have any kind of special needs that need to be met in their dog food? That's the other thing to ask yourself. Then the other thing then is weight problems. Is your dog overweight or underweight? Then again, you can choose a food that is specifically for weight loss, or a higher fat content if they are underweight. So that's the first thing you do. Size of the dog, the age of the dog, whether there's food intolerances, allergies, or weight problems. Once you are able to meet all of those needs, you're selecting a better food for your dog. And most premium foods will have those specifications available for you. There'll be a huge range. Cheaper foods, they don't really specify. They just say it's just a dog food. It doesn't really say it's for a small dog, or a sensitive dog or anything. So that's the first thing you do. So how do you tell the difference between a good food and a bad food. So with a cheaper food, if you look, all foods before you buy them actually, always look at the composition. The composition will be on the back of the bag or the side of the bag. Sometimes it says composition, sometimes it might say ingredients. So always check the composition. So what are you looking for when you look at that composition? So if a bag of dog food says chicken and rice on the front of it, you want to see, when you look at the composition, you want to see that the first things listed are the things that are written on the front of the bag. So the first things listed you'd want to see in that case would be the ingredients of chicken and rice. When you have a bag of dog food and it says chicken and rice on the front, and you check the composition and it doesn't say chicken or rice first listed in the composition, and it says cereals, well then you know then that majority of what's in that bag is cereals. So for example, a cheap dog food, I'm not going to name any brands or anything like that, but a cheap low quality dog food, the composition will usually consist of cereals, animal derivatives, it'll probably say maybe 4% chicken meal, not chicken meat, and lots of different additives, and sugars and flavorings and all that kind of stuff. Nothing about that is nutritious for a dog. It might fill a hole, it might fill their belly, but nutritionally they're not getting much out of it. So their health might suffer, especially if the dog has certain food intolerances. They might end up getting diarrhea, runny poos, sensitive, breaking out on their skin and stuff. When you look at a bag of premium food, if it says chicken and rice on the front, the composition will first have chicken and rice listed, and it will also give you a percentage of the chicken meat. They also would have lots of other nutrients added, like could be rapeseed oil and different types of fish oils, and lots of different vitamins and minerals. So if we're kind of wondering, kind of how to kind of look at dog food when it comes to like how we choose our food, we all know that when we have a healthy meal like chicken, vegetables and potatoes on a plate, that's a healthy meal. If we went to McDonald's, we know it's not a healthy meal. Now, if you were to eat McDonald's for breakfast, lunch and dinner every single day for your whole life, I think your health would suffer. So it's the same with dog food. The really low quality foods is like fast food. It's just full of additives, preservatives, cereals and all these unnecessary ingredients. So choose to give your dog a healthy diet as if it was you. You wouldn't be able to have McDonald's for breakfast, lunch and dinner every day, or your health would suffer. So your dog's health may suffer as well in the long term with a low quality food. So that's the reason to choose a premium food. And again, I'm not going to tell you which one, but it's just to show you what to look out for when you're trying to choose a food, because I know it's very difficult, it's very overwhelming. It's not like back in the 90s or 80s when we used to have dogs. We used to just give them anything, and there wasn't many pet shops around then. It was all like supermarket food and stuff like that. But now there's like so much choice. There's so many options. We're overwhelmed with it, and we don't know what to do with that. With all that selection, there's just so much to choose from. So the easiest way to choose is to choose the type of dog that you have, the specific needs that your dog has, and then obviously being able to identify good quality food. So again, just to reiterate, low quality food, the composition will be mainly full of cereals, animal derivatives and additives and preservatives and colorants. The good quality food will not have any cereal in it, no cereal at all. It won't say animal derivatives. It will actually tell you the actual meat that's in that food and the percentage of it, the vegetables and fruits that's in the food, and the oils and all those other good ingredients. Somebody asked there the other day about there's a lot of conflicting information online, and just out there with regards to what to feed your dog. Some people are saying you should feed them raw. Some people are grain-free, kibble, etc. Some people are like, oh, feed them wet food. Some people are saying dry food, and there's just so much. What I would say with that is, go back to what I said in the beginning. What do you want for your dog? Do you want them to be healthy? Do you want them to have a good diet? If that is the answer is yes, then just make sure you're choosing a good premium food that meets the specific needs of your dog, not anyone else's, your dog, okay? Just based on the raw, if you did choose to feed your dog a raw food diet, just look up, there's a feeding method called BARF, BARF. If you look that up, it will actually give you the guidelines on feeding your dog from the BARF method. So if you want to choose to feed your dog a raw diet, I'd recommend that you look that up, because that will give you the exact percentages of what ingredients you'll need. For example, like 70% meat, 5% vegetables, and so on. It'll tell you, because what I notice a lot is people feeding their dog on a raw diet is they think it's just give them raw meat and that's it. A dog's diet, the natural diet of a wolf was if you go back to before we had all these cute little doggies, the wolf's diet mainly consisted of meat. But also they're a carnivore / omnivore, which means they also need some vegetables, some carbohydrates, fibre, and other vitamins and minerals. So, for example, in the wild, if a wolf was to hunt a deer, it would eat the whole deer. That includes the stomach contents of the deer. So they're getting meat and they're getting whatever that deer had eaten, which is usually some sorts of carbohydrate, fibres, and vitamins and minerals. So that's where a dog's diet comes from. So it's the same here. Our dogs, first and foremost, need meat, and then fruits and vegetables, fibres, vitamins, minerals, and all of that. So if you're going to feed your dog raw food, that's fine. Just make sure that you're feeding them all those other elements as well. And look up BARF menu online, and it will give you the guidelines for that. Okay. So let me see if there's anything else I have here for you. With regards to how much to feed the dog, that's another thing some people don't know. I always hear this, I was told to just give the dog a cup. What size is this cup? Is it this size? Is it this size? So really, look at the back of the packet. It will tell you for the weight of your dog how much to feed it. And that feeding is usually the total feed for the whole day, and then you divide that into 2 meals. For young puppies, make sure that you're always looking at the back of the packet, because the food will increase with age. So as they're going from 2 months to 3 months to 4 months, you need to adjust the amount that you're giving them. Most good premium foods, you'll be able to get a measuring cup that will come with the food, and that will help as well. But always read the instructions and the guidelines on the food. They differ from brand to brand, so just make sure that you're reading them. If someone says just give your dog a cup, ignore them, because you don't know how much that is. So just refer to the back of the packet of food. And then just other things would be if your dog, is getting a lot of treats and rewards, especially when they're young puppies, you're rewarding them all the time for different behaviours. Just to make sure that they don't gain a lot of weight, just maybe reduce the food a little bit as well. So that's pretty much it when it comes to choosing food. You just want to get specific to the needs of your dog. You want to choose a good quality food. The choice is yours. And actually, before I forget, when we choose premium food, a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's like €60 for a bag of food, where I could get this other bag for 30. Work out the cost to feed per day. So if you were to work that out and do the calculation, to how much does that food actually cost you every day. You'll actually find the premium food lasts you longer and actually costs less in the long run to feed your dog on good quality food. So to me, it's just win-win all round. And just remember, when they do eat their lovely dog food, reward them for it. Give them a treat and let them know that you're happy that they've eaten their food. So that's everything there. If anyone has any questions on anything I discussed in this, just pop it in a comment below and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If I think of that and that I forgot, I'll pop it down below as well. All right, thank you. Bye.